Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my! It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Psychic medium Helene Olsen and paranormal researcher Patricia Baker. Here are Supernatural Girlz.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girlz. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and I am here with my co-host, the very talented psychic medium, Helene Olsen. Hi, Helene.
Good evening, Patricia, and everyone out there. And it is a beautiful evening here, isn't it?
It is. It's a little like fall, but today it warmed up, so hey, we're doing okay here in New England.
No, we can do without those 95-degree days of dog-dead humidity. It's just incredibly bad usually in August, so it's kind of surprising that it's been so cool.
It has been like fall already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm ready, though. I think I'm ready for a few dog days before we hit those cooler temperatures.
That'll probably come in September, you know, Patricia, how that goes.
I know. Well, we had some pretty exciting stuff go on last week.
Oh, did we ever? Oh, Lord.
The guys brought in their own entity entourage that stayed around a little bit after the show, didn't it?
Well, we had a clear after that, personally. I mean, it was quite something, yeah.
We really did. And, well, you were the one who picked up on it. It was still hanging around. And poor little Bailey, a visiting puppy, had an experience with one of those entities, and I did post that. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should go to our Facebook page. It was also sent out on Twitter so that you could see this little puppy's reaction as this thing moved down the hallway, and she just didn't know what to do. But she growled at it, she barked at it, turned around, and backed up. I think that was a good plan on her part.
That was a good plan. It was an excellent plan.
Oh, my
boy.
goodness. Yes, it was quite exciting, but I was glad that thing got cleared out.
Oh. What struck me about the whole thing last week, and I have to say it on the air, and I hope they're listening, I don't know, but the thing is that if they knew they were bringing an entourage, they could have given us a little heads up.
Oh, I agree. I think it would have been nice to know that they were bringing their... what do you call them? I mean, it was not a pleasant group.
It's a stream is what it was. But the thing is that they were laughing about it.
But we weren't.
No, and I don't know.
Came right
in some
into
way,
our homes.
Yeah, and in some way, I kind of felt like they were feeding that power a little bit.
Well, thank goodness, Helene, you are the expert in clearing energy, and I bow to you and your talents with that. This is what you're so good at, among many other things, but you were the one that picked up on it.
Not the part of the business that I love, you know. It has to be done, but, you know.
But you're good at it.
It is.
You ID these things, and then you go in there, and you wave your magic wand, and you tell them to get the hell out.
Oh, I don't do that.
Great.
I don't do that. I have lots of helpers, Patricia. I don't do that.
Well, you do a great job, because now the energy has returned to normal. So that is good. And tonight we have one of the most amazing people in the world, in my opinion. Lon
He really
Milo
is. He's a master.
DuQuette.
He's a master of everything. It's amazing.
He is a master, and he's funny.
He's great energy, and he's funny, and he's just awesome energy. He truly understands all of this stuff at a very deep level, and it's just fascinating to talk to Lon.
It is, and I'm so glad he's on the show tonight with his new book, Homemade Magic, which you and I read. Was that a terrific book or what? Oh, my God.
Well, it keeps your attention, but it's sort of creating your own spiritual path. which I love that he's giving specifics about how to create the spiritual path. And, of course, there's probably a million paths to God, or however you want to put it. But it is his prescription for creating the path, and I loved it. I loved it for people who need direction, for people who want to get there, So it was great, and it was funny.
And it's funny. I mean, there are parts of it, I just laugh out loud. Lon is a great writer, and I just, once I started reading it, I just couldn't put it down. It was great, and I highly recommend this book to everybody. It is terrific, and we're going to get him on the show in just a couple minutes. But first, we are going to be talking to Ms. Patricia Kirkman. Hi, Patricia. How are you tonight?
Well, good afternoon. I'm doing fine. Doing wonderfully, in fact. We've
got
sunshine. Right. Sunshine's good.
Sunshine is shining in Tucson today, huh?
Yes, that's right. In between the dark clouds that we've been having with our rains, but today's beautiful.
All right. That's great. Well, I know you've been taking a look at the new Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi, and this whole series is starting again this Saturday. So this is a big time for the Doctor Who fans. And I can't wait to hear, what did you find with Mr. Capaldi? Who is this guy?
Well, firstly, he's Scottish and Italian, a Scottish mother and Italian father. Yes. And the middle name is Dugan. So that brings in the Scottish part for him. But he's very interesting. He's been around for a while. He's been over 30 years in making his mark, shall we say. And he has had some very interesting roles in the past, where he played the spin doctor on the BBC comedy series, The Thick of It. But he is very, very interesting because it's all about him. He knows who he is. He doesn't take prisoners, if you know what I mean. He knows exactly what he needs to do and how he needs to do it. Very, very intelligent. And, I'm surprised that so many of these men in playing in these different roles, I find, are extremely intuitive. Not just intelligent, but very intuitive as well.
So but Peter has a lot of intuition.
Oh,
in his
very,
numbers.
Very much so. He's probably much more aware of what goes on around him than most of the people are that he's working with. He doesn't miss anything, but he doesn't like change. He digs in his heels. That might be why it's taken him so long to get to a space where he's going to really zoom forward with this role. It's going to be very interesting.
It sounds like he kind of embodies Doctor Who with the great intelligence and the great intuition. It sounds like he is kind of the role in some ways.
Yes, he is. The only thing is if he could be a little bit more flexible. Actually, I'm lying. If he could be a lot more flexible, it would be much more to the liking of everybody else that works with him, because he makes up his mind to something, and boy, does he dig in his heels. He doesn't bend. And he's very detailed in his own right, but he doesn't like change. So unless he's making the change, he doesn't want any part of it. So he'll make changes so things don't change.
And that's interesting,
very.
Because last week you were talking about David Tennant, and he kind of sounded similar. He didn't have the intuition that Peter has, but he also doesn't like change.
Well, there's a difference here. In Peter's case, where he not only doesn't like change, but he's very detail-oriented. Mm-hmm. And he sees exactly how he thinks things are supposed to be, and he does not want to budge. And then when you jump in and shift into the change part, he's like, have you ever seen somebody try to pull a dog for a walk that doesn't want to go?
Oh, yeah. We've seen that, haven't we, Helene?
Well, that's definitely Peter. I think a lot of this comes from how he was raised. There's a lot of issue with him and the father figure. Very interesting. I don't know if he wants to duplicate what the father's role was by being as, shall we say, hard-headed. Mm-hmm. But there's a tremendous amount of creativity in his chart. And he does it in he's creative. He knows that he's creative. He doesn't bother to back up to anybody when it comes to that. But the intuitive side, he's been playing roles most of his life. He's got this way of being way before he started acting, shall we say. I have a feeling that he, as a youngster, had, I'll just say, maybe some entities around him that may have encouraged him to some of the things that he does today. because his creative side is way up there on the spiritual level as well. And he's very much a perfectionist. So it's going to be very interesting. But he's very, very independent. Very independent.
Well, I can't wait to see what the new Doctor Who will bring. I hope it brings some great writing and some great performances, and I'm very interested to see how he takes on this role. So thanks for taking a look at him for all of us Doctor Who fans in the audience.
He's going to be
and
interesting.
we also have a number 20 today. What does that mean for everybody, the number 20?
Well, what it means for today deals with our finances, and it's a role about dealing with business and organization. And knowing about your finances and how to handle it, but to care for things that relate to the home and business is what is pertinent for today. You're going to spend more money on the home today, but you're going to want things to be perfect at the same point in time. You're going to feel that you're overspending, but you'll pull back a little bit. It's a good day to delegate, let other people have a role in making things go forward. We don't have to do all the supervision ourselves. You need an assistant.
I need an assistant. How did you know?
Well, it's because it's
so
in your chart. And you do.
Both
you
need assistants.
Mm-hmm. But you have to back it up with attitude, which also brings you gratitude, right?
That's right. Attitude of gratitude. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like a day that we are going to enjoy the rest of with our wonderful, wonderful guest who's coming right up. Patricia, thank you so much again for your insight.
Oh, you're very welcome. Enjoyed it. I can't wait to hear the rest of the show.
Oh, I know. It's going to be great. Well, thank you, and I know you'll be back next week with another celebrity and another day to talk about. So we will talk to you then, and stay tuned because Lon is coming right up. So we have Mr. Master, actually, Lon Milo DuQuette. He is our guest tonight. We're so excited. And he has been involved with occult studies since the late 1960s, and he is known as the authority within the world of modern occultism and magic. And he is the author of over 16 books, some of them Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot, The Chicken Kabbalah, My Life with the Spirits, which is my personal favorite. And tonight we're going to be talking about homemade magic. Lon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me on again.
Yes, we just love having you on our show. You're the best.
Oh, shucks.
This was such a fun book to read.
Well, good. It's only been out for just a few days, really. So.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's another great book. And I think this one's also on par with My Life with the Spirits because it's such a personal book. And you share so many wonderful personal moments with all of us in this book.
Well, in a way, it's like third in a biographical series. My Life with the Spirits being the first one, and then a couple years ago, I did one called Low Magic, which sort of also dealt with, anecdotal stories. It's not so much a magical textbook like books on the Thoth Tarot or my Tarot or Kabbalah books, but it's more about magic as magic applies to somebody's life, and it's just the older and lazier that I get, the more the more I find it's easier to teach the lessons through stories than it is, expecting people to read a textbook. So you're stuck with it whether you like it or not.
Oh, I loved it. Didn't you love it, Helene? It was great.
Well, you know what I loved about it is that it really kept my attention. It was funny and it was personal, and I really thought it gave people a nice prescription or guideline to follow if they want to get more into all of the realms that are out there.
Well, it's called Homemade Magic, and for in a sense, no matter what you think your magic or your spiritual path is, it's all homemade. It's all customized. It's all just yours. Even if you you belong to a school of thought or an organization or several organizations, or you've got a guru or a mentor or a master. You're doing it all yourself. Ultimately, the whole thing's in your lap. So I went at it from that approach.
I'm wondering if you can speak a little bit about imagination, because it's really hard, I think, to explain how imagination plays into all this and where people can really feel connected and get valid information. And when you start talking about imagination, it feels to people as though you're just making it up in your head. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Well, ultimately on the quantum level, it is all in your head. Of course, there's nothing outside of your head, so it's from a quantum level. But the imagination is really the realm, the magical plane, where it all takes place. Every breath you take, believe it or not, is an aspect of your own imagination. And I know it's kind of hard to think of that as an objective truth, but have you ever seen that wonderful movie Inception? Where the whole movie deals with sort of the science of going into dreams and different levels of dreams.
Yes.
And you wake up from one dream into another dream, and it's a very fascinating and entertaining movie. But when dealing with consciousness, with let's say human consciousness, normal everyday, brush your teeth, get up, go to work consciousness, compared to the supreme intelligence of Godhead, we're just almost next to completely asleep, and in a dream inside of a dream inside of a dream inside of a dream. And the Kabbalists try to draw you a little roadmap of all of this in this diagram of the tree of life, where they've got the 10 different levels between Godhead and you of awakeness. And we're down here at 10, and when we raise our consciousness and wake up a little bit, we wake up to number 9, but we find out we're still asleep, and then we wake up and we're in number 8, and then we wake up a little more and we're in number, and that's really the initiatory trip up the tree of life, all the way from objective consciousness to supreme consciousness, or Godhead itself. So in a sense, imagination, what we view as imagination, that wonderful process where we can sit in class, like me in school. 99% of my time in school, when I was a boy growing up, was spent looking out of the window.
We can all relate to that.
Imagining stuff, okay? And that wonderful ability, that blessed ability, in a sense, is a glimpse through the onion peelings of these layers of consciousness. Is a glimpse at what is ahead. The imagination, as we call it here, on this level, is actually our hint of what the mechanics of consciousness is. And so the ability to visualize, the ability to dream, to project consciousness, to hold an image in your mind, and to literally create in your imagination is exactly what the Supreme Intelligence is doing to hold the entire universe together. And so it's our preview of what's going on, for lack of a better term, in the mind of God. And so imagination is more than just daydreaming. It is the act of creation itself. And I guess the more awake you are, the more simple this process seems, and the more difficult it is to describe on the radio.
Oh, you're doing a great job, Lon.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of the things I love about this book, there's so many things I love about this book, which, again, the name of it is called Homemade Magic. It is available on Amazon.com. You guys all need to run out and buy a copy of it. It's terrific. And I love how you talk about your beautiful wife, Constance, and how everything that you write about in the book is also about incorporating magic, ritual, and even just the way you see everything in life. It's a part of your life. How many people kind of put all this stuff to the side and then either never get to it because they don't have time, because they're just doing the do of life, or they don't have enough time at the end of the day to give to this. But right from the beginning, and you talk about how these magical situations are found everywhere, and I love how you give credit to Constance and how you honor her in the book. It's really beautiful.
Well,
and nothing's perfect, like you said, but you honor her so beautifully.
Oh, well, I wish she was listening to this broadcast. She's in the other room with a cat at the moment. I wish she would hear this because she hasn't read the book yet. So.
Uh-oh. I'll send her an email.
I've read parts of it to her as I'm writing it. So, but anyway, it's yes, we've been married 47 years, and I am just so incredibly lucky to have gone through this incarnation, most of this incarnation, in her presence. You know, I in one part of the book I say that that she is literally or truly a living saint, and but then I bring up the fact that it's very difficult to be a mortal man married to a living saint.
That challenge.
Because I am not a saint, and it makes it very difficult sometimes. But it's true. I was blessed to meet up with her in high school, and more or less instantly know that this is going to be who I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Almost in a very straightforward, matter-of-fact way. I compare it to we're like a Hindu couple that was pledged to marry each other when they were children. Their parents signed them up, to it, and they just they just surrendered to their destinies. And so we just we say we had an arranged marriage. We just arranged it ourselves. But
great.
working on this, getting back to the imagination thing. From the very beginning, Constance and I had this this sort of playful, half serious, half goofy, playful attitude that here we are again. Here we are in another life. Here we are in another life together. Like we're cosmic gypsies spending another incarnation together, and we would fantasize and give ourselves goofy Native American names, and or fantasize that I was the court jester and she was the scullery maid, and we took these things. They were funny, but by the same token, we took them kind of seriously. They gave us a sense of magical personhood. They gave us a sense of magical identity. I go to great lengths in the book saying, you start off your magical career by supposedly knowing who you are. But, fat chance at knowing who you are. It's the last thing that's going to happen to you before you dissolve into Godhead is to know who you were. That's what I was.
Oh, now I get it.
But until but until that, you got to start somewhere. So you got to start by pretending you know who you are, and and then fake it till you make it. And that is more or less the path of the initiate. I don't know who I am, so for the time being, I'm going to pretend I know who I am, so I can have a hook to hang my magical career on, and so you have to start with that imagination because that takes you into the world, and at first it may be completely fanciful and completely totally goofy and imaginary, but slowly the imagination becomes real. You turn the spirit of imagination into the matter of your day-to-day existence. And then once it finally dawns on you, well, for better or worse, I'm a magician. Then when that light bulb goes off in your head, then everything you do is magic. There's nothing that you do during the day that isn't magic. You don't do magic after work. No, work is magic. You don't do magic after making love. No, making love is magic. You don't do magic after driving your car. No, driving your car is magic. Does that make sense?
Yes. And that's another thing I love about your book is the way you show how easy it is to integrate this way, so that it's not something you just do, at a certain time of day. It's something you do all day long. And you make it so simple and fun, starting out by renaming yourself. I mean, what a blast.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, I feel like I came in backwards then, Lon.
Well, you know what the physicists say, the backwards is just as good as frontwards,
Yeah.
I'm married to a double Pisces. Can you imagine?
God.
I got fish coming and going all over my house. So.
Well, and she's a saint on top of it. My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
What a life. But you give specific instructions about basically how to order things as a magician also. So that's also, again, why I want so many people everybody to read your book who's on this path or wants to be on this path, because you really boil it down. You make it simple, understandable. Here's how you make your wand. Here's how you make, all of these items that you need. This is what they mean. So there's no deep, dark mystery about it except whatever you discover within yourself as you're working these magical items. So it's an easy to understand process, where a lot of the other books that I've read are very complicated and off-putting. This is very inviting.
Well, I'm glad you think of it that way, and I'm glad it came off that way. It's I wish I could say yes, and I intended to write it like that, but but I truly, it's like my music. People say, "Gee, I like the way you play the guitar," and I said, "Look, I play the guitar the only way I can to get through the song." Okay, I'm glad you like it, but I just do what I have to do to get through the song, and that's how I write. I write the way I have to write to get through the book, and a simple man, and I have to see things in basic, simple terms. I admire writers like Mark Twain. I'm a big Mark Twain fan, and there's a guileless honesty that is not. It's almost like it's not self-aware. He's just trying to. He's funny, but he didn't set out to be funny. He just set out to be honest, and that's what I try to do with my life. And I think if you're honest enough, everything's really funny. But
well, as I was telling our call screener tonight, I said, I'm reading the book, and I'm going along, and I'm really involved in the book, and I'm reading about how to do this and how to do that, and all of a sudden, Lon will write something, and I'm on the floor laughing. It's just that way you have about writing and speaking that's so entertaining, and it makes it a pleasure. So I just love it. I just love the book. Great, you're a great writer. And you are a lot like Mark Twain, I think. That you have picked a great person to emulate in your writing, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's. I like that style. Of course, I don't try to emulate that style. Hey, did you ever hear about a guy named William Walker Atkinson? He wrote under all sorts of names, right about at the turn of the 20th century. He wrote as Yogi Ramacharaka, Swami Panchadasi. He wrote he's an Englishman, okay, and he wrote as Theron Q. Dumont. And
wow,
but
he has quite the pen names. Helene, have you ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
He wrote. He sort of was one of the first Westerners that got himself regularly published, talking about yoga and the Hindu, water cure and breathing techniques and things like that. And he wrote like that. He wrote just as straightforward and as frankly as totally unpretentious. And he's another one of my heroes.
I have never heard of him. That's interesting.
I've curated a series of books for for Weiser, the Weiser Books, the publisher, and they said, "Well, what books inspired you? And if it's not unreasonably hard to get them, we'll publish some of your favorite books." And so I said, "Oh, Yogi Ramacharaka," and so Weiser has republished a bunch of those, and I've sort of introduced.
Good.
Yeah.
So people can find them on the Red Wheel Weiser book list on Amazon.com now. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. Well, Helene, I didn't mean to step over something you said because I want to go back to it. I'm intrigued what you said to Lon that you came in backwards. What did you mean?
Well, I'm not going to go over the whole story again, but one day angels just landed on my head and told me what my name was, so I didn't have to think of it. Okay? It's like, this is your name, and this is who you are. And I had no comprehension of what was being told to me, either through my subconscious imagination, whatever label you want to put on it. So I feel like I had to learn it all backwards. Well,
that's you're lucky to do it. When I chose my magical motto, though, for the first time, the mechanics of me choosing my magical motto, and it may not seem like it to you, was the mechanics of me getting my magical motto was angels giving me my magical motto.
Okay. Right. So now my magical motto, Lon, is I own my cuckoo. Okay. That came to me a couple years ago, and so I own it, and that's it. I'm no longer
very good.
Stepped over the fear of what other people are going to think or anything else. I don't care anymore.
For years, my magical motto was "So far, so good." It really
That's a
was.
good one. I love that.
I put it in Latin so it sounded pretentious. Yeah.
I read that in a book. That was hilarious. Yeah.
Well, it's good to bring that lightness to all of this, so it's not so serious and it doesn't take on that heavy tone. And that's, I guess, too, what I like about the way you share your knowledge on the occult and magic. Is it's done lightly.
Well, your magical career is as serious as a thing as anything in the universe can be. Okay, you're going to have your own adventures. You're going to have your exaltations, your ecstasies, your agonies. You're going to have your wrestling with your own personal set of demons. You are going to go through your own hells and your own heavens. It does get freaky. It does get scary. But why make the discussion of it unduly scary, okay?
Thank you, Lon. Thank you.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be, your own career.
It's the roller coaster ride of a lifetime, right?
That's right. So why go out of your way to be, dourly humorless in the discussion of the thing? We're all going to go through the same kind of stuff together, personally customized for our own set of baggage. So why not laugh with each other at the glorious adventure of it all? Because the serious stuff we do just all by ourselves.
We all need a good laugh. And I'll tell you, one of the things that made me laugh very, very hard and out loud while reading your book was the story about the weight loss demon. Now, can you maybe what we should do is take a real short commercial break and then come back and have you share that story if you don't mind, because that was a great story, and it addresses so many things on so many levels. It was such a parable here. So anyways, we're going to take a short commercial break, but before we do, I just want to give you the number to call if you have a question for Lon. The number is 646-478-0828. Again, that number is 646-478-0828. We are doing live tweets tonight. You can follow us on Twitter. And also retweet and follow us, and you will have a chance to win Lon's new book, Homemade Magic. So our Twitter handle is Supernatural GLZ. So go over to Twitter if you haven't followed us yet, retweet us, and you will be entered, and we will give the name of the winner at the end of the show. So stay tuned, everyone. We're also, at the end of the show, going to play one of Lon's brand new songs. So everybody stay tuned. And again, if you have a question, call us for 646-478-0828. Stay tuned, everyone.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Bonjour, this is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980 I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With cosmic fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are speaking with Lon Milo DuQuette, who is the author of many books, 16 on the occult and magic. And tonight we are talking about his latest book, Homemade Magic. So, this story, Lon, that we mentioned before the break, it just, oh my goodness, there's so much to it. Can you share that with our audience tonight? That is a great story.
Well, it's the chapter called "The Demon Who Saved My Life."
Right.
Well, the basically it's like this. I was born in 1948, and just when I started to walk, I had pain in my leg, in my hip, and of course they thought it was polio, and people were kids on either side of the where we lived in Lakewood, California, had died of polio, and there were several others in iron lung. So my parents were really freaked out when I started to limp around, just as I was starting to walk. And they took me to the doctor, and I didn't have polio, but I did have a bone disease that for which there was really no treatment. It was called Perthes hip disease, and the only cure for it is to completely immobilize the patient. In other words, I had to go right back to the crib. and more or less stay immobile, because every time I walked, I would grind away a bit more of my own hip, and so the thing was a certain percentage of patients would just outgrow it, would outgrow the condition, and so I guess to keep me calmed down, because you know how active kids want to be, I took what they simply called thyroid pills. I remember, give Lonnie his thyroid pill, you know, and I don't know what the thyroid pill did, but I was blissfully content to go back to the crib and stare at the ceiling and enjoy my linguistic dreams and visions. I enjoyed being conscious every other half hour, 24 hours a day. I enjoyed it, and I think that's probably why I'm so comfortable working on other than conscious planes of consciousness. I was quite contented to do that, and so I liked it. I liked being by myself, staring at the ceiling, having visions of other incarnations and things like that. And but anyway, the thyroid pills were more or less they affected a change in my metabolism, and where not only did I enjoy being immobile, but my metabolism was probably such that almost everything I ate easily turned into fat. So my whole life, this incarnation, I would say I've been battling a weight problem, but heck, I didn't battle it. I surrendered, you know.
You waved the white flag.
I give up. Give me another ice cream cone, you know. And so anyway, but you know, I did pretty good at keeping it off, and but I was always just bordering on being able everything I did to blow me up, and about it's over 15 years ago now, maybe more, I severed my Achilles tendon, and that immobilized me even more. And I had gotten a job at I'll say it, at C.B. Richard Ellis Commercial Real Estate, just a clerical position, and I could sit at a desk all day long. And I think I mentioned it to you last time. The company I worked for was bought by a bigger company that was bought by a bigger company. It was bought by a bigger company, and after a while, nobody knew what I did. Nobody knew what I did, and I had no responsibilities. But I showed up. Every day and wrote books, and they thought, well, gee, Lon comes in early and leaves late. He's really a good worker. And
talk about being a great magician.
You mean that's exactly? I don't know if it's a great magician, but can you see the magic at work there? And
yes, indeed.
And so, but when I had severed my Achilles tendon, I really went through 11 weeks of really being immobile again, and I just more or less gave up on trying to eat right. And even though we're vegetarian and very food conscious, I just eat a lot of it. And plus, there was about a 5-year period where I probably wrote at least six of my major titles. in that period. I had knocked off a book about one every 18 months. Well, once every 15 months, I think it was, yeah. And but the discipline of that incredibly rich writing period included me actually going to work and putting in an 8-hour a day job at work. And this was my daily routine, at least 5 days a week. I would go to work around 8 o'clock in the morning, work till 5. And then at 5 o'clock on the way home, I would stop off at my neighborhood liquor store. I know their names of their children that work there. And I would buy 2 canned martinis, okay, those horrible club martinis. They taste horrible, but they have this measured effect, okay? And but that was the extent of my alcohol, was those 2 martinis, but they were very regular, every day at 5 o'clock. And then I would drive home by the back bay here at Newport Beach, and I'd watch the sun go down over Catalina, and I would sing to myself, and it was just heaven, okay? And then I'd go home and you know how hungry a couple of martinis will make you.
I don't, but I can imagine.
And then I'd go home, and Constance would have this incredibly wonderful meal prepared, and it smelled so good, and I felt so groovy, and I would eat too much, okay, and then I would fall asleep on this full stomach, and then I would get up at 3 in the morning, and then I would write to 9 o'clock or whenever it was I had to get off to work, okay. And, you know, 2 martinis isn't enough to have, you know, be hungover, so I was fresh for writing, and I wrote in the middle of the night when it was just the quiet, inspiring time. And it was a wonderful, wonderful cycle for my creative output, but it was killing me. Okay, It was absolutely killing me. And I eventually blew up, and then when I'd go to work, then I'd eat too big of a lunch, I'd drink a bunch of coffee and take too much big of a lunch, and to take the edge of the coffee off, and it was just, I had fallen into a terrible, terrible lifestyle if you were going to keep the weight off. And I'd blown up to 100 or to 310 pounds.
Wow.
Whoa.
And I think, Patricia, you knew me when I was a very heavy guy, very big guy.
Yes, I think that's when I met you, but you still look great. You held your weight pretty well.
That's magic. See, I'm shaking your hand. I'm shaking your hand, and I'm saying you're not seeing my fat. Okay, I'm a handsome. I'm a handsome man. You think I'm a handsome man? Yes. This is not the fat you were looking for. Yes.
Right. Yes.
And
you are a great magician, no question.
That's right. I weave this illusion on people that I was a good-looking guy. And but finally, and in the book I said, but the elephant in the room that nobody was talking about was me. Okay.
Oh God.
And but there was somebody who was talking about it. Okay, and there was this a blogger, an internet blogger guy, and he was smart, well-read magician. Now, there's lots and lots of people who are fantastic occult scholars. Okay, they can count the nostril hairs of God and tell you all about them, you know. And whether or not they practice or not, they really have their knowledge together. And this guy's a very well-read guy and everything else, but he was very provocative, and he had contacted me, got my email address, and he would ask me these questions like, you know, the Pharisees would ask would ask Jesus, these trick questions, And I said, I know what this guy's up to. He's just, going to try to, it's easy for me to say something stupid, so I'm just not going to get. And so I tried to keep him kind of at arm's length and stuff. And after a while, he dropped all pretense of civility, and he wrote me this letter, and said, he quoted my own words to me, that the only thing I can change with my magic is myself. And it is absolutely true. He threw those words back into my face. And he says, if that's true, you're morbidly obese. Why don't you invoke the demons of diet and exercise, to transform yourself from this ugly slob that you are, and prove that your magic is real, kind of thing,
Wow.
And it was very, very hurtful, and he wasn't coming at it or at least he didn't think he was coming at it from a helpful, caring place. He was just being insulting. He was being a jerk. And at first I was so mad, and I would say, oh, man, if I could give him leprosy from a distance, I'd do it, but then he got me thinking, okay, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. The only thing I can change with my magic is myself, and here I'm killing myself with my lifestyle. So much so that I've figuratively whipped up a demon that threw this right back in my face. Look at you, And
that is such an enlightened way to describe this. That's what really is amazing to me, but I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead with what happened.
Oh, no, but I'm in the Masons, and the Masons had one of these lifeline screenings I could go to, and I haven't had my blood pressure checked or anything in many, many years. So I went to the lifeline screening and found out that my blood sugar was dangerously high. My glucose level was dangerously high, and I was bordering on dangerously high blood pressure, and I just wasn't feeling all that good, and I thought, okay, that's it. I'm going to do one magical act to fix myself. And that one magical act was I agreed to do what Constance told me to do. My one magical act, obey Constance. Because she'd been trying to get me to take walks, she'd been trying to get me to eat better, and she was trying to get me to knock off my 2 blissful martinis a day. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to do what you say, dear. What do I do? Okay. And so I've been on her program. She's sort of an amateur nutritionalist. She goes to all of the nutritional seminars at our local health food store and health center over here. She reads all of the life extension material and belongs to life extension, and I just said, I'll do what you say. She said, knock off the martinis. Okay, knocked off the martinis. And I must not have the gene that torments alcoholics, because it was totally, I knocked off the martinis without even thinking about it. Don't even want one, didn't crave one. That wasn't hard at all. So I'm a lousy addict. I tell people, it takes real commitment to be an addict, and I just don't have the commitment for it. I don't have the strength of character to be decent. And so every day, and I still had the Achilles tendon thing. I still had pain in my hip and everything else. I could just barely walk down the street. But I would walk a little bit further down the street every day until I could finally go around the block, then at 2 blocks, and then 3 blocks. And every day I would watch my silhouette getting smaller and smaller. And it was rewarding, and the more that I saw the weight coming off, and the more inspired I was. It was like the demon was like a spark plug, okay, that ignited me, and then the joy, the bliss, the ecstasy of it actually happening became the new the new joy, and I literally took joy in it. I joked with Constance, and I said, "Well, now I'm a jock. I got to get out. I got to walk again today because I'm a jock." And she's got me on these mushroom extract things that when I take them at a certain proximity of meals, they change my metabolism, and I process my food a lot better. 6 months after she started me on the program, I'd taken quite a bit of weight off, but not that much. It literally took me 3 years to lose 150 pounds. But wow. I did lose 150 pounds. I'm down to 160. I've stayed at 160, fluctuating down to maybe 157, up to 163, since for 3 years.
What a powerful experience. I mean, to take something like that where someone was publicly, because he wasn't just doing this privately with you, he was also going after you publicly, wasn't he?
Right.
So he was making these statements to the world about you. And so it's bad enough when it's just in a private email, but when it's out in public like this, it's even worse. And here you were able to move through the anger. I think most of us would have been stuck with giving him leprosy from a distance.
Oh, but it took. I had the demon that got me off my butt to do it, but I also had the angel that whose direction I followed. Okay, and so can you sort of see the magical formula at work here? I had the angel telling me this information for all of these years, but it really did take the demon to get me off my butt and doing it. So I thank the guy, and in the book, I thank him for saving my life. So
incredible. Just I love that. It is. I think the right action in a difficult situation, which is sometimes very difficult to see, very difficult to take right action when you're feeling attacked. But you did it, and it worked. It saved your life, and now you're on this great nutritional path with the help of the great St. Constance.
Yeah, that's right. Amazing story.
I just love it. Similar to dreams, too. People can have all these wonderful dreams when they go to sleep, and then they start having a nightmare that won't go away. And as a dream therapist, they would often say to me, well, why do I have this nightmare now? And it won't go away. I keep having the same one over and over again. It was always because they refused to pay attention to what they needed to pay attention to. So the dream would have to take on a much more frightening or attacking undertone to get their attention, to have them make that change.
Yeah, they got to get your attention first.
Yeah. So this demon definitely got your attention.
He got my attention, and and it just goes to show that the universe, truly does anticipate your every need. And you just have to wake up enough to see it see it speaking to you and see what it is. And so everything kind of serves to or further your evolution if you just let it. And it just might be, because I don't really, truly, I'm only half joking when I say I don't have the strength of character. What I do have going for me is that I'm really, really lazy. and I'll do anything to skip a step. Okay. And so I find, well, what can I do to skip it? How can I graduate from high school without studying? How things like that. So
I love it. That's great. Yeah. And again, this is why this book, Homemade Magic, is so wonderful, because you do make it simple and you do make it easy for everybody who wants to either construct their own cup or buy one at the store. It just, as you mentioned, all of these implements that we need as magicians need to have meaning. Is that the bottom line for those things?
Yeah, and I've got a chapter on the magical weapons: the wand, the cup, the sword, and the disc. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to have great magical toys, and a lot of people, kind of initially get into magic because they just love the clothes. But which is okay. The clothes are pretty cool, but the thing is, the toys mean something terribly important about you. They're aspects of you. The wand is your will and your focus and your concentration and your the cup is your understanding and your love and things like that. So it's nice to have beautiful tools, but eventually you got to look at those things and say, well, I got a beautiful cup there, but the real value is my son going to appreciate this when I'm dead? Is he going to say, yeah, that's Dad's cup, pretty good cup there, huh? Big deal, that's not my cup, really. That's just a souvenir. And so I travel so much, and I, believe it or not, I actually do magic. My funky little magic ceremonies, I'll do them in hotel rooms and airport restrooms, and I'll do it any place that I think I won't get arrested for doing it. and I will use a plastic knife as a sword. I'll use a packet of salt as my disc. I'll use a swizzle stick as a wand.
Wow.
And once I used a pancake as a disc. That was...
You did, really?
Yeah, I ate it after the ceremony too. But when you look at it, the pantacle is your spiritual food. That's part of its gig, And what's more perfect than a pancake? I say, I'm taking that back up in the room, and I'm going to eat it afterwards. So that way, it'll always it stuck with me for a while too. It was pretty dry, but.
But this is great to know, because as you mentioned in the book, a lot of magicians don't travel with their sacred items. So if you need to do ceremony, then there are things that are acceptable to use. And again, it's how you make it meaningful, right?
Right. If you can't make a magic sword out of a plastic sword that sticks in a cocktail olive, if you can't make that little plastic sword a magic sword, then you can't make a $10,000 sword a magic sword, okay? If If you can't make a plastic glass your magical cup, you can't make a gold cup your magic cup. Okay, the magic's not in the material; it's in you. And grab what you need to. Grab what you can. Now, there's some people whose sense of art is such that they don't feel that they're doing magic unless they've got the cool toys. And that's fine, too. Magicians are artists. Magic is a spiritual art form, and it's a colorful one. And I wouldn't dare, presume to tell another artist, what his art should be like. I mean, there's people that work in oil paints, okay, even the same material, and one artist should not tell another artist, what to do with that paint and that brush. It's up to them. Personally, being so lazy and so poor, I'll just grab the nearest the nearest thing if I'm away from my my cozy home magical weapons. I did one chapter on my sword, my magical sword. Now, I didn't make my own magical sword. I bought an antique sword, but the way I bought the antique sword is a story in and of itself. In a way, my precious Martin D28 guitar was my magical sword, and I literally transformed my beautiful Martin guitar into my magic sword.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
You mean you made it out of the guitar?
No, but the money that I got for the guitar, I bought the sword with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And with the sword in your book, you talk about it that it needs to be balanced, and it also needs to be light because you may be holding it for a long period of time.
You may be holding it for a long time, yeah.
So you don't want some heavy thing that
right.
You won't be able to hold it for very long.
Yes. You really don't want a knight's broadsword because you need it light, you need to draw stars and stuff with it, and it needs to feel like an extension of yourself, not like a huge club that you're wielding.
Right. So, my goodness, I mean, what a life you have. You have created, with your magic, a wonderful life where from the outside looking in, it looks pretty perfect. You're a singer-songwriter also, and you have several CDs out, which if you could tell people a little bit about that would be wonderful, and where to buy them. You've got some wonderful CDs.
Wow, yes. You can buy my CDs just by, typing in my name and going to either Amazon or CD Baby. And you can listen to my music on, Pandora. All three of my albums are on Pandora. Please make a Lon Milo DuQuette station and click like. Even if you don't like it, I'm going to ask you to click like, okay? And whenever my songs come up. And this is another thing. I gave up music in 1972 when my son was born, and I had a record career going, and as a singer-songwriter. And it was, but when my son was born, I literally traded in lifestyles. The lifestyle was too fast and crazy, and I liked it too much to be a family man and a musician. So I just traded it in. I stopped being a musician, and I replaced that passion with my passion for occult study. And but just in the last, I guess it's 10 years ago, somebody gave me a ukulele again. I didn't even own an instrument. Sold my piano, sold my guitar.
Wow.
And I didn't even listen to popular music. I can't tell you who the famous stars of the late 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't know. I heard about this guy, James Taylor, but I didn't really listen to him.
Oh, my goodness.
But somebody gave me a ukulele, and I started plunking on the ukulele, and while I was writing, you get burned out writing all the time, and I'd plunk the ukulele. And eventually I started writing songs, because I walk 5 miles a day. I take 2.5 mile walks a day. And when you walk, there's a rhythm. You walk to a rhythm, and I started to write poetry and write songs. And so another student got me a guitar, and I started playing the guitar again. And I started going out to these open mics, and the open mics, I met Alan Cochrane, who said, "I'll produce your records," and before I knew it, I was making CDs again, and I was back in the studio and with a nice, different musicians and stuff. And so that's my new, Lon reinvented himself again. And so I'm making CDs, yeah. And so just look up Lon Milo DuQuette. My newest album is called The Gentle Heretic, and the album before that is called Baba Lon 2, and the first new album is called I'm Baba Lon. And believe it or not, people try to say, well, you do music and magic. Nah, the music is my magic. Okay, it's even if the songs are goofy, schmaltzy love songs, I'm here to tell you there's nothing more magic than schmaltzy love songs. Okay, so
what a life you have for yourself. I sit back in amazement, and you're very inspiring, because you don't let age or anything be a barrier to you, and I guess that's how you've learned to integrate the magic. Is that it?
I guess so, or I just ignore the fact that I really don't have much talent, so that's what I plan on doing with death. I just plan on ignoring death.
That's a good one. I like that idea. I think that's something.
I know I'm going to die someday, but I'll ignore it.
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Really? Why pay attention to the things you don't want?
Well, which sort of brings us to the song I sent you. Is my brand new song. It's not on any of the CDs yet, so you get to premiere it. And
boy, this is exciting.
Just got it out of the studio, but it's called At Père Lachaise, the famous cemetery in Paris, where all of the literary figures for the last 400 years are buried, and that's where Jim Morrison is buried, and Isadora Duncan, and Oscar Wilde, and Sarah Bernhardt, and Marcel Marceau, and Chopin, and everybody. So I'm telling people, I just turned 67.
No way! So oh my God!
I'm at the age where you start to think, well, where do I want to be buried? Okay, and I guess there's a big waiting list for this Paris cemetery, Père Lachaise. But I thought, well, I'll write this song anyway and see if I can't get in.
Oh, my God. But you're supposed to ignore death. Well, I guess if they bury you there, you're just going to have to come back like a vampire or something.
I guess so.
Gosh. What a life. What a life. It's just amazing. Don't you think, Helene? My gosh.
I could listen to Lon all day. All night.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't this great? We have him on our show. I'm so thrilled.
Well, it's. I didn't let you guys talk at all. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
We don't need to talk.
No, we don't.
We just need to keep you talking.
Oh.
You know, you're a wonderful author, Lon, and you are a great performer, too. I enjoy your music very much, and I know our audience will enjoy hearing your song for the first time also, your new song. But it's, it is truly inspirational to hear how you've integrated magic, and along with Constance also, into your daily life. It's a part of your every moment of life, and how enriching that is.
Well, we're lucky to get a kick out of doing the same kind of stuff. In one of my chapters, Constance woke up one morning and said, "Let's play Monastery."
She come up with that.
And so for the next 3 years, time means nothing. Next 3 years, we played Monastery, and it was great.
Oh my goodness! It's just wonderful to hear all the things that you did as a couple in the book that you've written about, and you also raised a wonderfully talented son who is now in Japan, and you have a beautiful grandson.
Oh, isn't he something? Jeez,
he is.
That kid belongs in commercials.
He does. He's gorgeous and obviously talented like the rest of the family. But, it's so interesting because, again, here you've raised this wonderful family and integrated the magic of it all into everyday life. And, you guys are not fringe people. You've found a way to make all of this work so wonderfully for you.
Well, we're also extremely lucky. And I don't forget how lucky I am and how lucky we are, and I'm very, very grateful for every day that I have, and I truly appreciate this life this time around, and I'm continuing to have fun. I'm going to be in your neighborhood. As a matter of fact, Constance and I both were in Connecticut just last weekend.
What?
Yes.
And I did not know this. And Helene, did you know this?
We celebrated the Gnostic Mass with over 100 people in attendance at the Harvest Gathering in Orange, Connecticut, out in the woods. It was
we missed this. This is not acceptable. Now, when are you going to be out in our neck of the woods next time?
Okay, I'm going to be in New York City on September 20th, Saturday night. I have a Saturday night show at Susan Sarandon's nightclub in Manhattan. It's called Spin New York. And,
cool.
And it's a Saturday night show. I don't know how I got the gig, and I'm hoping to get in there and do my show and get out before they figure out, before they get wise. But that's a Saturday.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night show. It is the big time, and then the next day I do a lecture on the Holy Guardian Angel in Connecticut at a place called Mystical Parlors. It's a shop in is it Norwalk, Connecticut?
There is a Norwalk, Connecticut. It quite possibly could be there.
Yeah, I think it is Norwalk, Connecticut. And then I'm also on the Friday before, it's Friday the 19th, I'm doing a workshop in Manhattan on how to read your own tarot cards.
Oh, my goodness. Well, be sure that we have all of these things so that we can put them on the website, too, because we do have a lot of listeners in this area in New York, and I'm sure that they want this information. So we'll be posting all of this on Facebook. We'll put it out on Twitter, and so
good.
make sure everybody you're signed up on our newsletter, supernaturalgirls.com. Make sure you go there, sign up, and like us on Facebook, and do the Twitter thing with us so that we can keep you informed as to Lon's performances as well as his workshops and lectures.
Lonnie, coming back to Salem anytime soon?
At the moment, I don't have anything scheduled, but I love Salem, and I come to Salem usually once a year, and I've skipped it for a couple of years. So, if you know anybody whose couch I could sleep on, I'll come back to Salem. Yes, I usually lecture, so I'm long overdue. So I'll put I'll put my sad face on and say, "Aren't you going to invite me back?"
Celine, we should work on that, huh?
Oh, that's not hard. That's not hard if it's serious, Lon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can get you out here, Lon, and I know everybody would love to see you out in this area, New England, and magical Salem. I mean, my goodness.
Yes. So I usually go just before it starts to get crowded in October,
Right.
And but not this year. And I'll be, I did 12 countries in Europe in May and all of June.
Yes, my head was spinning when I read that itinerary. I mean, that was amazing. Amazing. And all those beautiful photos that you posted.
Oh, what a trip that was.
Yes, that was amazing.
And 3 weeks before that, I was in Shanghai.
Oh, my goodness.
And so now my magic, the biggest magical challenge I have is laundry.
Well, Helene and I, we always talk about laundry and how it's bigger than us.
It is bigger than us. In Oslo, I stayed at a monastery, or a convent, actually, and I had a bunch of nuns helping me with my laundry, so that I was in good hands in Oslo. But every place else is a real juggling act.
Oh, gosh. You don't have to tell us. It's just an enormous thing that never goes away. It's just like a big monster, isn't it, Helene?
It is.
My monster's bigger than yours.
It is. It definitely is. You're right.
It's a burden. Well, it's a continual background meditation. It really is. You're shaking hands.
God bless you.
You get off of the airplane and you meet new people, and they got to sign up, say Lon DuQuette in Bulgarian or something, and you, how do you do? Here's my laundry.
See, I've just learned something new. This is how you say hello in a foreign country.
Yes, here's my laundry. I need it in 48 hours, please.
That's great, Lon. Oh, my goodness. Well, I hope we can get you out here. It would be so nice to see you live and in person after all these years that we've been chatting, and I know you were here before the castle was even done. We were eating outside, listening to wolves howling after we finished eating, and we promptly left. So.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful, beautiful place. Yes, I'd love to return.
We're going to get you back. That's all there is to it. We just have to do that. So we're going to make a plan here, Helene and I, when we finish the show tonight. And again, I want to thank you so much, and I want to encourage everybody to buy this book, Homemade Magic. It's fabulous, as all of Lon's books are. I mean, you can look at all of them online at Amazon.com. He has 16 books there, and they're all great. This one has quickly become one of my greatest all-time Lon books. So highly recommend it, highly recommend it. And I do need to announce our winner. The person who is lucky enough to have won tonight's book, which is Homemade Magic, is the Twitter name Madhuri Balak. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Madhuri Balak, you are the winner of the book. So we will get your address, and it will be sent directly from the publisher to you. You lucky person, you. You're the winner of Lon's book, Homemade Magic. And so everybody, we're going to continue to do our book giveaways. So make sure that you are following us on Twitter, retweeting our tweets, and signed up for our newsletter and everything else. And you will have it be entered into a chance to get the next book. So again, our winner tonight, Madhuri Balak. Thank you for participating, Madhuri. That's wonderful of you, and we will be sending you your book. So, Lon, we've got to have you back anytime to talk about any of your books, any of your wisdom. You're always a very welcome guest here on Supernatural Girlz.
Well, thank you very much. Maybe a little closer to the end of the year, because I've got a little tarot deck that's called the Year Ahead Tarot, which is perfect for drawing oracles for the end of one year and the beginning of another. So that might be something.
Yes, we're gonna. Okay, you're on the list now for that. Absolutely. And we are going to round out our evening tonight with your new song that you are so generously sharing with all of us. So I'm going to start to play that, and thank you, everybody, for joining us in this wonderful and entertaining, informative show with Lon Milo DuQuette, Helene Olsen, and Patricia Kirkman, and myself, and our wonderful call screener, Becky. Thank you all, and have a great night, but be sure to keep listening. Lon's song is coming right up.
I've traveled round this great big world, from Sydney to Shanghai, Rio de Janeiro, where it's Christmas in July. Adore Chicago's eateries and New York, so romantic. And I've had lots of fun the other side of the Atlantic. But all good things come to an end. Someday I'll be deceased. And when I die, don't mourn or cry. Just say goodbye and ship my body to Paris. End your resume with a touch of panache. Spend eternity rubbing elbows with class. Come to Paris to take your final breath. Make 14 Rue du Repos your last address. The party starts when you are laid to rest. Bienvenue au Club Père Lachaise. Chopin at the keyboard pounds out Polonaise. Balzac throws his weight around, we're all impressed. Yves Montand serenades Simone Signoret. Marcel Marceau smiles but has nothing to say. At last a Belliard sleeps with Héloïse. Love never dies, a Club Père Lachaise. Maria Callas Celestine Gali Marie. Belt out Carmen just to impress Georges Bizet. Edith Piaf sips champagne with Colette. In search of lost time, Marcel Proust can't forget. Perhaps someday they'll meet Lon Milo DuQuette. Dreams never die at Club Père Lachaise. Barefoot Isadora in gossamer dress, flirting with Jim Morrison, looking his best. Oscar Wilde swapping quips with Moliere. Sarah Bernhardt shows her tits, man, what a nice pair. At midnight stand and sing the Marseillaise and toast the stars of Club Père Lachaise.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Supernatural.